It's high noon on a Monday afternoon. Welcome to Bethea's Byte Reloaded. I'm Ernest Bethea, the last outlaw. Bethea's Byte Reloaded is your home for news, opinions, debates, your voice, and justice served. Before I begin, as clearly advertised, I want to take time out and apologize for not following through for not following through on my word that I would update you all on certain cases that I have not been able to update on. Um, I have I've been tied up with so much different stuff, including other cases. But the first three cases that I started covering since I got into true crime, I have not been able to update until today. So, that being said, again, I humbly apologize to all of my subscribers. I I hold each one of you dearly, and trust me, there will be next times for this, and I will try to do better on that. When I say I will update you as soon as I get more information, I will do that. I will do better. All right. I've given my apology. I have humbled myself before all of you. Now it's time to update my first three cases. I'm going to start with one that has that had me that, that had me so set off because it involved an 8-year-old girl. It involved someone who she thought would protect her, care for her, love her. Unfortunately, that wasn't the case at all. As you remember, Sophia Mason, 8-year-old girl, was found dead in a bathtub in Merced, California. Her mother, Samantha Johnson, was already taken into custody and put behind bars as she awaits trial on child abuse and first degree murder. I want to share a screen with you because, as you can already tell, she's not alone in this. On the top left-hand side of your screen is Dhante Jackson. Dhante Jackson was one of the suspects in this in the initial case. But the moment that Samantha Johnson was arrested, he decided he was going to flee. He decided he was going to run. And why? Because he knew he was going to get caught anyway. Anyway, he had been on the run for months. He'd been on the run for months. He had been you know what? Instead of just me trying to break this down from my own perspective, let me pull my notes up and tell you, and that'll give you everything you need to know. On September 10th, 2022, various law enforcement agencies assembled, bringing the Sophia Mason murder investigation to a successful end. 33-year-old Dhante Jackson of Merced was apprehended outside of Newark, California residence by agents from the Merced Area Gang and Narcotics Enforcement Team, or MAGNET, along with agents from the California Department of Justice Special Operations Unit. Jackson was the focus of a 6-month long manhunt after Merced police detectives identified him as one of the two suspects responsible for the murder of 8-year-old Sophia Mason. Mason's mother, 30-year-old Samantha Johnson of Hayward, was arrested early on in the investigation and remains in custody at the Merced County Jail. Search warrants were served at various locations in Newark, San Jose, and Merced immediately following Jackson's arrest. 42-year-old Lorona Larkins of Merced, 33-year-old Myra Gonzalez of Newark, and 40-year-old Deborah Thompson of San Jose were arrested for accessory to murder charges after investigators determined they assisted Jackson while he was on the run by providing him with shelter and financial support. Jackson was living with Gonzalez at the time of the arrest. Investigators worked diligently on the case in an effort to locate Jackson and to hold those assisting him accountable. Hundreds of hours were spent conducting interviews, chasing down leads, and serving nearly 100 search warrants. Detective John Pinniger was the lead investigator on the case. It was announced during a press conference at the Merced Police Department today that Pinniger planned on retiring after 27 years in law enforcement. Pinniger said he held off on his retirement because he wanted to see the case through until the end. Honestly, I don't blame him, not one iota. That's a case I would want to see through to the end as well if I were in law enforcement. Now I'm at that point in this particular case that I pray that justice is served and both Samantha Johnson as well as Dhante Jackson get put behind bars. No ifs, ands, or buts. This is an 8-year-old child. And I'm saying this directly to Samantha Johnson. This was your responsibility. You were supposed to be the one to take care of her. Dhante Jackson, you should have been stepped up in the daddy role, but you didn't. You ran like a coward. Now you're caught. Now let's let justice be done in that case. All right, next up, my number 2 case in which I didn't follow up on until recently. And honestly, when I first got a hold of this case, oh, to say that I figured that this one would be the most disgusting case I would ever cover in any iteration of Bethea's Byte, the original or reloaded. But within that ugliness comes great news. As you can see, I've got guilty stamps on 3 different defendants. I'll explain as I go through my notes. Let's begin with the defendant on your right side of your screen, Cynthia Perkins. Because in order to understand the graphic, we'll have to go through all 3 pieces. Cynthia Perkins was sentenced to 41 years in Livingston Parish Court on Friday, February 18, 2022. Prior to sentencing, the 36-year-old issued an apology to her family, former friends, former co-workers, students, victims, and Livingston Parish, Louisiana. Perkins accepted a plea deal from prosecutors on Monday, February 14th, Valentine's Day last year, in exchange for testifying against her ex-husband, 46-year-old Dennis Perkins. Perkins pleaded guilty Monday, February 14th, to charges of second-degree rape, production of child pornography, and mingling of harmful substances. On the second-degree rape count, she was sentenced to 40 years hard labor without the benefit of probation or parole. On the count of the production of child porn, she was sentenced to 30 years to run concurrent, which means the 30 years she's doing for child porn. She'll be doing that plus an extra 10 for the second degree rape. They all run those 2 sentences are running at the same time. Well, basically, it's combined into one. And for the count of conspiracy of mingling harmful substances, she was sentenced to 1 year to run consecutive. So that year is added already to the 40 she's already doing, which is why you get 41. And she will be required to register as a sex offender for life. Per the plea deal, Perkins had to agree to certain facts in the case, such as assisting her husband in the sexual assault of a juvenile, helping Dennis film a juvenile while bathing, and this is the disgusting part, ladies and gentlemen, lacing desserts with Dennis's body fluid, and I'm being clean when I say that. I'm gonna let you use your imagination. Lacing desserts with Dennis's body fluids before giving them to school-aged children. Next defendant is on the left side of your screen. This is Melanie Curtin. Melanie Curtin, the ex-lover of former high-ranking Livingston Parish Sheriff's Deputy Dennis Perkins, has been sentenced to life in prison without the possibility of parole after being found guilty of aggravated rape and video voyeurism. Nice. A Livingston Parish judge sentenced Curtin on Monday March 21st, despite multiple efforts by defense attorneys to throw out the jury's verdict, citing alleged discrepancies as to how the jury was able to reach such a verdict. Curtin was found guilty on charges of aggravated rape and video voyeurism in the 2014 sexual assault of an unconscious woman by a jury on December 3rd, 2021. Curtin's ex-lover, Dennis Perkins, and his ex-wife, Cynthia Perkins, were accused of a number of charges, including rape, producing child pornography, and participating in feeding desserts laced with his own body fluids to school children. Curtin was not accused of any crimes involving children. Thank God for small details. Cynthia Perkins accepted a plea deal from prosecutors on February 14th, in which she pled guilty to second-degree rape, production of child pornography, and mingling of harmful substances. 4 days later, she was sentenced to 41 years in prison on February 18th. As part of a plea deal, she will testify against her husband Dennis when his trial will begin on May 9th. Dennis Perkins has pleaded not guilty to the charges he faces. So, two down, one to go. Recap. Cynthia Perkins, 41 years hard labor, plus she's going to register as a sex offender for life. Melanie Curtin, in prison for life, no possibility of parole, probation, or anything of that sort. So, what do we get? The man in the middle. Dennis Perkins, the so-called brain behind it all. Former Livingston Parish Sheriff's Deputy Dennis Perkins has agreed to a sentence of 100 years in prison in exchange for a guilty plea in a case that stunned the entire community when details first emerged in 2019. The plea agreement, announced during a court hearing on that Tuesday morning, includes a stipulation that Perkins will not be eligible for appeal, probation, or parole. Assistant Attorney General Barry Milligan said, quote, "No one has to worry about Dennis Perkins hurting anyone ever again." As part of the plea agreement, Perkins pled guilty to second-degree rape, sexual battery of a child under the age of 18, sexual battery of a child under the age of 13, video voyeurism, mingling of harmful substances, and the production of child pornography. All the remaining charges against him were dismissed as part of the plea agreement. Perkins, a former high-ranking Livingston Sheriff's deputy, was charged with rape, child pornography, sexual battery, and video voyeurism, and he was accused of covering desserts with his own bodily fluids so that they could later be fed to children. Perkins, who at times cried during the hearing, faced several family members of his victims inside a Livingston Parish courtroom that Tuesday as he pled guilty to the horrific crimes he committed against them. He said, quote, "I'm sorry. It's been more than 3 years living in a box, and it's not about me. I just want to make this statement. Jesus Christ has forgiven me, and I'm grateful for that. And I hope and pray that anybody that this affected will also find forgiveness and healing through Jesus Christ." Minutes before he made that statement, one of his victims took the stand and told Perkins she hopes he spends every day worrying about his own safety. "You're absolutely not worth my time," the female victim said. "Instead of protecting, you chose abuse. Have a nice life in prison." WAFB's Lester Duhay asks, "Is this the worst evidence you've ever seen?" Assistant Attorney General Milligan answered, "Yes. The victims, have been through hell, and they're just as satisfied for this to come to a conclusion and justice prevail, so they can hopefully move forward and not have to look back ever again. That's according to Assistant Attorney General Erica McClellan. Perkins was set to go on trial in January 9, but he accepted a plea deal during a hearing held at the Livingston Parish Courthouse on Tuesday, January 3rd. The plea agreement means the young victims in the case will not have to testify. Prosecutors said they met with each victim in the case to get their blessing to go forward with the plea deal. Milligan said, "I think it sends the message that has been very consistent from our office, that if you commit crimes against children, people are coming after you." And now we get some release statements, first from Attorney General Jeff Landry. Today, Dennis Perkins admitted to his despicable crimes and pled guilty in court. He not only waived any right to appeal, probation, or parole, and any attempt to avoid conviction, but Mr. Perkins also spared the victims from reliving his horrific crimes during trial. Today's conviction is in the best interest of our victims and justice. I thank Assistant Attorneys General Barry Milligan, Erica McClellan, and Christopher Walters for their great prosecutorial efforts to hold Dennis Perkins accountable. I also thank my cybercrime unit for their work on this case and their tireless pursuit to protect Louisiana's children. Additionally, I thank our victims advocate, Kristen Martin, for her passionate and dedicated efforts working with our victims throughout this prosecution. Our state is suffering from a crime epidemic, and it is going to take a strong commitment from local and state officials to defeat it. Criminals must be punished for their crimes, and victims must be supported. Today, my office sent a loud message to predators lurking. If you harm children, you will receive the justice you deserve. Livingston Parish Sheriff Jason Ard. Today, victims in this case receive some closure. My goal has and will always be to protect victims' rights and privacy. We all work diligently to help maintain the integrity of the case in order to secure a successful prosecution and to provide closure for the victims. We cooperated fully and are glad to see justice prevail. Our prayers continue to be with those impacted. Defense Attorney Sheriff Ambo issued this statement. Mr. Perkins accepted responsibility for his acts and did not accept responsibility for anything he did not do. And he expresses sorrow in the courtroom for all persons harmed in this matter. Perkins' former school teacher wife, Cynthia, was also charged in portions of the case and pled guilty last year. She was sentenced to 41 years in prison and agreed to testify against her now ex-husband. The two were married at the time of their arrests. In December of 2021, Melanie Curtin, the ex-lover of Dennis Perkins, was sentenced to life in prison without the possibility of parole after being found guilty of aggravated rape and video voyeurism in the 2014 sexual assault of an unconscious woman. Dennis Perkins was charged in the same case. Perkins, who appears to have lost weight and is now bald, appeared in court wearing an orange prison jumpsuit. He briefly addressed the judge after agreeing to a plea deal. I wish there were things that would have came to light in pre-trial motions that would have helped me in this case. I just think we ran out of time, he said. Judge Sledge asked if that statement by Perkins meant he wanted to change his mind about the plea. Do you still want to go forward with this plea agreement, she asked. Yes, ma'am, I'll plead guilty, he said. The case was prosecuted by the Louisiana Attorney General's office. Honestly, ladies and gentlemen, just knowing the fact that Dennis Perkins, Cynthia Perkins, and Melanie Curtin are all sitting behind bars means that the children of Louisiana, Livingston Parish, Louisiana, can now rest a lot easier. If I had to make a prediction, I'm gonna make 3. Cynthia Perkins is 36 at the time of her sentencing, right? Which means she'll likely be about 77 if she gets out. Melanie Curtin, she won't see the light of day. And Dennis Perkins, let's just say sentencing of 100 years, he's going to rot in that very prison.
For sure.
So, 2 down, 1 to go. Oh my gosh. I'm not answering I must not be answering nobody. Oh my God. Hang on. Hold on. Yeah, good and going on that. Good and going on that. Hold on. Let me go ahead and hit everybody up. Arctic Fox True Crime. What's up? What's good with you, man? How you doing? Checking convictions. Yes. Lock them away, indeed. That's what I'm talking about. That's why you a lifetime of being force-fed tube steak is what he needs. Fox, I believe that he's going to get a good portion of that. Trust and believe. Oh. Lacing desserts with his bodily fluid makes him a ho-ho. Okay. Gotcha. Hey, Lexi, how you doing? Oh, my God. You guys are killing me. Let's see. Makes him a sicko. You're right. Right. Okay, we got you. You're late, but you're here. Who are these POSs? You'll have to rewatch. Yeah. You'll have to go back to find my first cases, and then come back to this one. Yeah. It's got an Amber Alert. Uh-oh. All right, I'll check that out. All right, let's see. Okay, now I've got one last update from one of my first 3 cases, and it may not seem like much, but this could be something we need to look over. Now, on the left side of this picture here that I'm going to share with you all in just a matter of moments. Okay, on the left side of the screen are defendants Tim and Tracy Ferriter. If you remember those names, you remember this as the boy in the box case. Let me explain. Tim and Tracy Ferriter are accused of severe child abuse for locking their adopted 14-year-old son inside their garage in a an 8x8 box, leaving him only a Home Depot bucket to do his toiletry with. Now, even that, just remembering that hit me in the heart. So now that you know who we're working with, the lady on the right whose face you can't see because of her hair, that's defense attorney Nellie King. She was their defense attorney. It seems that the Ferriters and Ms. King have parted ways due to. I chuckle at this because I want you to remember this phrase: irreconcilable differences. Now, normally you would hear the words irreconcilable differences and think, wait a minute, this isn't a divorce case. And you'd be right. This isn't a divorce case. Let me go to my notes. Irreconcilable differences. That phrase is usually associated with divorces, but this is a professional parting of ways involving a high-profile child abuse case in Jupiter, Florida. Timothy and Tracy Ferriter are charged with child abuse and false imprisonment. The couple is accused of keeping their adopted son in an 8-foot by 8-foot box in their garage. According to court documents, the Ferriters and their defense attorney Nellie King had a falling out a few weeks ago. King has withdrawn from the case. That's noteworthy because in the days following the Ferriters' arrest, several bombshell motions were filed citing a rare psychological condition and claiming the son was a violent and dangerous child. Then King told the judge evidence was being withheld from the defense investigators from the Jupiter Police Department and the state attorney's office were conspiring with the Department of Children and Families to besmirch the Ferriters as they were gunning for maximum penalties, even though they didn't understand the family dynamics. Ms. King had no comment. A jury trial is scheduled for May. In the meantime, the Ferriters remain out on bond. Local station WPEC spoke with the Ferriters' new lawyer by phone. She offered no comment about the attorney shakeup nor about the defense strategy moving forward. I don't know what the strategy will be going forward for them, but I will say this. I will say this, and I'll say this from the bottom of my heart. Anybody who's going to treat their child like they're less than nothing, and they want to call themselves a foster or even an adoptive parent, stop. Don't do it. I said this before, but I first covered this case, and I'm saying it again now. Don't do it. If you're a parent, act like it. Treat that child like that's your child. I guess we'll have to wait a couple months to see what happens with that case, see what develops, and hopefully that young man will get the justice he deserves by having his so-called parents, those monsters, put behind bars for good. Now, yeah, it does seem like it's been that long. But justice is not a you know this, Lexi. Justice is a marathon. It's not a sprint. So we wait. We wait. Now, and I've got all three of you on here watching this live. I want to show you one more picture that has nothing to do with this case, but a case that many people have been eyeing and following for quite some time now. Give me one moment. Okay. Right. Boom. There we go. Now, as you're looking at that side by side, on the left is Madeleine McCann. On the right is a woman who who says she could very well be Madeleine McCann. I'm trying to find the article right now that goes with this. And as you're looking at that side by side, and I want everybody to ask yourself and look at this. Oh, this is even better. Now I can read this from the Express. Here we go. All right. As you all remember, Madeleine McCann went missing in 2007 during a family trip to Portugal. All right. This is from the article. A German woman claiming to be Madeleine McCann has offered evidence on Instagram. A user with the username at I am Madeleine McCann has become the latest user to offer unsubstantiated claims that they are the missing girl. The woman claimed in a video that she started thinking she could be the girl a few months ago. She's added that she first heard the claim from my grandma, quote unquote. In the live video, she told viewers she was 21 years old, but believes she could be as young as 13. She claims to have freckles and specks in the same places as the youngster, and that she wants to get a DNA test. The evidence she offers includes a claim that she has a freckle on her legs and a speck next to her eye that resembles Madeleine's. Her Instagram bio appeals for help getting in contact with her parents, Kate and Jerry McCann. She adds that she has attempted contact police from the UK and Poland who have ignored her. The bio states, "Help me. I need to talk with Kate and Jerry McCann. I think I can be Madeleine. I need a DNA test." Police investigators from the UK and Poland try to ignore me. I will tell my story in posts here. Help me. while other posts on the account attempt to draw further connections between her and the missing girl, with pictures posting her with pictures posting her picture side by side with Madeleine's. While unsubstantiated and unproven, the claims have attracted the attention of tens of thousands of people. She has 25,000 followers watching her further allege she is long lost Madeleine. And her live video is now being circulated on TikTok, where users are calling for the original poster to receive help. One repost of the video garnered 3.3 million views, with others receiving hundreds of thousands each. Madeleine McCann disappeared when she was 4 years old from her bed at a holiday apartment in Praia de Luz, where she was staying with her family in 2007. Her whereabouts remain unknown nearly 16 years after she went missing. Let me go back to these comments real quick. And let's see. Arctic Fox says, I mean, just give the girl the DNA test. As the parents want her DNA tested? Yes, I totally agree. Isn't there something in her eye? That's what what they were saying at the beginning, that there was a speck in her eye, just like but by her eye, just like Madeleine's. Hmm. Wish we had a better view of the ears. I know, I understand. I wish that too. But hey guys, what I can do is this. I have I have the link to her TikTok. I have a link to her TikTok right now. So what I can do is this. I can share I can share that video right now, and I'm gonna let again, you be the judge, because for me personally, the jury's out. I can't say yes, I can't say no yet. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna open this screen up. I'm gonna let you guys take a look, and you tell me, is she is or is she ain't?
I'm, according to documents, I'm 21 years old. But personally, I think that when someone kidnap a child, he or she probably change his ID, personality, and yes, I have spot on leg. I have even 2 spots. I will show you 1 second. Okay, so the first one is here. The second one is here. Okay. Okay, so I hope you believe me. And if you, when did I start thinking about the Madeleine? A few months ago, it was something like that. I heard from my grandma that, sorry, I'm stressed. My English is bad now because I'm stressed. My grandma said that she thinks that my parents and my family, I mean, my mother, my family, knew about my hurt from pedophile. And I don't have to say that. I tried to get a copy of my birth certificate, and but by phone. Person told me everything by phone, and it was weird. So I decided to don't go there because it's weird that person from government told me by phone my informations. So I'm stressed. God, I never been stressed like this. Um, okay, I want to make the DNA test, but police don't want to help me.
There's that, ladies and gentlemen. I'll go back to that side by side photo one more time and give you one more look at it. What do you think? I want to address a comment by Arctic Fox. He made mention about yes, she's 21, but according to her documents, and Madeleine would be 19. That's true, but there is that remote possibility that that her age might be off too, her current age. So I'm giving the benefit of the doubt. I'm giving the benefit of the doubt, but like I said before, the jury's out. And I see I've got checking convictions saying you don't think so. I got Red Bull Coffee and Crime saying the same, but that I will definitely agree. Checking conviction says the eyes are too different. That's a pretty good argument. Yeah, yeah. A DNA test is definitely worth getting to find out for sure. I have another update too, coming from CBS News, and I caught this earlier this morning. If I can find it, I can bring it right to you. All right, here we go. Here we go. Here we go. Guess not. All right. Okay. There was another case that Arctic Fox and I were had discussed in great detail, and I want to share this with you all as well. This has to do with Alec Baldwin and the shooting on the set of the movie Rust. In a move that could dramatically reduce possible jail time for the actor, New Mexico prosecutors confirmed on Monday they dropped a firearm enhancement against Alec Baldwin, who is charged with involuntary manslaughter over the fatal shooting of cinematographer Helena Hutchins on the set of the film Rust. The decision by New Mexico First Judicial Attorney Mary Carmack Carmack Altweez, to drop the enhancement followed a motion filed by Baldwin's attorney questioning its propriety. According to TMZ, which first reported the dropping of the enhancement, Baldwin's attorneys insisted that the actor had not, quote, brandished the gun or displayed it with an intent to intimidate or injure, as required under New Mexico law to support such an enhancement. In a statement to City News Service, a representative for Carmack Altweez said the decision to drop the firearm enhancement was made in order to avoid further litigious act distractions by Mr. Baldwin and his attorneys. The prosecution's priority is security justice, not securing billable hours for big city attorneys. That was a statement from Heather Brewer. 64-year-old Alec Baldwin and Rust armorer Hannah Gutierrez Reed were charged last month with involuntary manslaughter in the commission of a lawful act. Prosecutors said the pair were being charged in the alternative, meaning it will be up to a jury to decide which level of involuntary manslaughter they allegedly committed in the October 21, 2021 shooting. The involuntary manslaughter charges carry possible sentences of 18 months in jail and a $5,000 fine. The charge of involuntary manslaughter in the commission of a lawful act included the sentencing enhancement for use of a firearm, which would have made that count punishable by up to 5 years in jail. Removing the enhancement means Baldwin and Gutierrez Reed would only face up to 18 months in jail if convicted. The film's associate director, David Halls, pleaded no contest to a charge of negligent use of a deadly weapon. That deal, which still needs judicial approval, calls for him to receive a suspended sentence and 6 months probation. Court appearances have not yet been scheduled for Baldwin and Gutierrez Reed, who have both repeatedly denied any wrongdoing in the shooting, which occurred inside a church building on the set of the Western film Rust near Santa Fe. Baldwin fired the fatal shot from a prop gun while helping Hutchins, age 42, and director Joe Souza set camera angles for a scene. The actor, who was also a producer on the film, as insisted he was told the gun was cold or contained no live rounds. He also insisted that while he pulled back the hammer on the weapon, he never pulled the trigger. Baldwin's attorney, Luke Nikas, previously called the charges a terrible miscarriage of justice. Mr. Baldwin had no reason to believe that there was a live bullet in the gun or anywhere on the movie set. He relied on the professionals with whom he worked, who assured him the gun did not have live rounds. We will fight these charges and we will win. Attorneys for Gutierrez Reed have also denied that she did anything wrong, even suggesting at one point that others on the set tried to sabotage the production by mixing live rounds with blanks. Attorneys Jason Bowles and Todd Bullion said in a joint statement on Tuesday that the charges and probable cause statement filed by prosecutors show that the district attorney has completely misunderstood the facts and has reached the wrong conclusions. Hannah pleaded to provide more firearms training, they said. She was denied and brushed aside. Hannah was asked to be able to perform her armor duties more for safety reasons. She was told by production to focus on props. Hannah asked Halls if they could provide a plastic gun for a rehearsal scene, and he said no, wanting a real gun. Hannah asked to be called back into the church if Baldwin was going to use a gun at all, and Halls failed to do that. Yet the district attorney has given Halls a 6-month probation misdemeanor and charged Hannah and Baldwin with felony offenses carrying at least 5 years in prison. The tragedy of this is, had Hannah just been called back into the church by Halls, she would have performed the inspection and prevented this tragedy. We will fight these charges and expect that a jury will find Hannah not guilty. The shooting has led to an array of lawsuits against the film's producers, including Baldwin, and a series of countersuits. Baldwin himself filed a lawsuit targeting Hall's, prop master Sarah Zachary, and Seth Henney, and his company PDQ Arm and Prop, which supplied prop weapons and ammunition to the production. The film's script supervisor, Mamie Mitchell, has sued Baldwin and other crew members, saying she suffered emotional distress due to her proximity to the shooting. She was standing next to Hutchins when the shot was fired. Halls in turn sued Baldwin, Zachary, Kinney, and Gutierrez-Reed. Hutchins' husband and son filed a wrongful death lawsuit against the film company, saying the production was plagued by safety issues, citing messages and emails circulated among crew members. A tentative settlement of the suit was reached late last year for an undisclosed amount. The settlement includes a provision that allowed production on the film to resume this year, with Hutchins' husband serving as the executive producer. On the morning of Hutchins' death, the safety dangers of the production have reached its crisis point, according to the 29-page suit. The local camera crew members were so upset by the producer's utter disregard for safety that they protested the safety conditions by going on strike. The lawsuit alleged that Baldwin and the film's producers have disregarded at least 15 industry standards for gun safety on film sets. The totality of evidence is just overwhelming, according to what Brian Panish said at that time. Last year, the state of New Mexico announced a nearly $140,000 fine against the film's production company over the shooting. The state's Occupational and Safety Bureau determined firearm safety procedures were not being followed on the set and concluded that producers showed plain indifference to employee safety. Our investigation found that this tragic incident would have never happened if Rust Movie Productions LLC had followed national film industry standards for firearm safety. New Mexico Environment Cabinet Secretary James Kinney said in a statement that when the fine was announced, this was a complete failure of the employer to follow recognized national protocols that keep employees safe. Sheriff's investigators determined that live ammunition was found on the set, mixed with blanks that are traditionally used in film production. Hutchins' death led to industry-wide calls for improvements on set safety, particularly in regard to the use of firearms. I still stand. Let's see now. Let me go back to get the comments real quick before I. Let's see what we got. Let's see. The freaking prop people need to be charged. Yep. Agreed. Arctic Fox says, oh yeah, I don't think he should be charged at all. I think the producers and the prop guys should have been charged, not Alec Baldwin. Oh, but we agree. We totally agree on that one. Okay, Lexi, you guys at the park phone are going to die. I will finish later. Good job, Reloaded. Love you all. Please sub, share, like everyone. Love you for that. Love you for that. Arctic agrees. She agrees. We okay. And yeah, we know her name is Camilla. Okay, we got that on record now. Checking Conviction says, yeah, they have two people and their job is to make sure the gun props are safe. Absolutely. Absolutely. They should never, let me say never, be live rounds anywhere, and bullets shouldn't fit in a prop to make sure. Yep. Of course, Arctic Fox is saying, yep, 100% agreement on that. The real question is, why is there live bullets there at all? Who was the one trying to bring them bring them and why next to a prop. That's a lot of questions to answer, and right now there are no answers. But I will go on record and say once again that I agree with Arctic Fox True Crime that Alec Baldwin and whoever else they got as a defendant in this case should not even be defendants at all. Checking Convictions even made my point saying that yeah, the prop people should have been charged. It was their responsibility at Jump Street that they should have made sure that the gun that they use that they're using the blanks that they're supposed to use and not live bullets. See, and even Checking Convictions is backing that statement up. I agree, just the props people, not Baldwin. Yes, I totally agree with that statement. Totally. So I'll keep a watch out for that on that case as well as others. And like I apologized before, if I get lax on updates, I promise I'll do better next time. I will bring as many updates as I can. I will do my very best to update each and every case as it comes to me. When I get the information, I will make sure you guys get it too. That you have my word as this being Bethea's Byte Reloaded, your home for news, opinions, debates, your voice, justice served. Thank you for bringing this to us. Love to you, and I love you guys. I love you guys too. I love all my subscribers. Thank you so much. You're the ones that make this thing run. But again, you know what? I'm running my mouth about it. I'm running my own mouth about it. I'm gonna let my clothes say it for me. Anyway, I'll be back next time. Hopefully like this one just kept going great. No hiccups or anything like that. I want to thank everybody for coming aboard. Thank you for watching. Thank you for subscribing. Let's do this again next time. Ladies and gentlemen, again, this is Bethea's Byte Reloaded. I'm Ernest Bethea, the Last Outlaw. And until next time, you know what to do. Byte this. Hey guys, this is the Last Outlaw. I send you all a million thank yous for all the love and support of Bethea's Byte Reloaded. I know I've said this before, but it bears being repeated. Without you, this channel does not run. So again, a million times over, I thank you. I'd like you to do something for me. If you enjoyed this video, or you want to give your feedback on anything that was discussed or shown, I'd like you to do the following. Give the video a like. It helps to get the information out to everyone who may have information leading to getting justice for the victims and or bringing the missing home safe. If you're not subscribed to the channel yet, what are you waiting for? Hit the subscribe button and let's join in this fight together. Be sure to hit the notification bell. That way you'll be notified of future videos, live and pre-recorded. The real game changer is when you click the share button. Send this and videos like it all over your social media. The more eyes and ears on this channel, the better the chances of getting justice for the families of the victims and bringing the missing home. Of course you're going to have your say as well, so be sure to drop a comment. I just ask you to keep it clean and civil. Remember, we are about getting justice, not arguing over who's right or wrong in a debate. Don't forget to follow Bethea's Byte Reloaded all over social media. On Facebook, at Bethea's Byte Reloaded TC. On Twitter, at EKB316. On YouTube, at Bethea's Byte Reloaded, with and without the punctuation marks. On Instagram, at EB The Last Outlaw. On TikTok at King of Hearts 316 2021. Email me at kingofhearts316_09 at outlook.com. Hit me up on the message forum at www.betheasbyte.com. This is your home for news, opinions, debates, your voice, and justice served. This is Bethea's Byte, and it's reloaded.